What? Turn around and go back? But this is nuts. Why am I doing this? The Bobby McGee story. Oh, victory in Jesus. As a kid, Dad would drive us around and we'd sing gospel songs. Dad drank to cope with scars left over from the Korean War. When he got drunk enough, he became violent. I often went to school with bruises. By the time I turned 9, Dad was gone completely. Soon I was exposed to the party life and drugs. Look who it is. Come in, Bobby. It made me feel wanted and needed, but it was really the start of a life of addiction. At 16, I was convicted of my first crime and given 7 years. Rather than change myself, I wore my criminal past like a badge of honor. Drug use became a deeper pit. And that led to even more time behind bars. In my 30s, I realized I had eaten more chain gang chow than street food. He'll be back. Determined to stay out this time, I thought good intentions and willpower would be enough. But within 9 months, I was rearrested for armed robbery. I made bail, but decided I'd never go back to prison, so I saved up some money and made a run for it. Everything was going according to plan until nativity scene a half mile ahead. A nativity scene? And that's how Jesus came to bring peace between God and man. Sir, are you saved? For no reason I can describe, I stopped there to take a look. Anger surged inside my chest when the pastor asked me this. I didn't like anyone telling me how to live my life. So I just laughed right in his face and bolted. But within minutes I heard a voice in my car say, "Go back." So, what would God want with a tattooed career criminal? The Bible is full of people who were major sinners. I got a brand new start that day. No more running. Prison? Yeah, I went, but this time with a new friend and ally, Jesus Christ. Finally, after 7 prison sentences spanning nearly 2 decades, I left that old life behind. Then God called me to use my talent for music back in prison. Along with my wife Nancy, I founded Christ Song Ministries to bring songs and words of hope to men and women all over the country. I thank God that He's a God who's after sinners, and He found me. He's looking for you too. Answer His call now. Some of you have read my story from curiosity. Others may have been to a service and picked one up. Still others may have gotten it off a library cart in lockup. For whatever reason, know that this is not coincidence, but divine appointment from a holy God. You can know this Savior by simply believing and asking Him to forgive you. Ask Him to come into your heart and change you. Why don't you go ahead and follow Christ now by saying this prayer? Dear Jesus, thank you for keeping me alive after all I've been through. I know my sins have been many, and I ask you today to forgive me and wash me clean from my past. I believe you died for me and are knocking at the door of my heart. I accept the pardon of sin and ask you to come in my heart and be the Lord of my life. Please read Romans 10:9 through 13 in the Bible. If you have made a decision to follow Jesus, will you let me know? Here is my contact info. Bobby McGee, P.O. Box 2454, Boone, North Carolina 28607. Attention inmates and chaplains. Christian comics tracks for prison inmates. The mini comic was written and drawn by a prison inmate. Would you like to create a similar 7-page comic about a prison ministry worker or about your own personal testimony? If you are a talented Christian inmate, here is an opportunity for you to create a mini comic to reach your fellow inmates and at-risk youth. Ask your chaplain to recommend you and submit examples of your drawing and storytelling abilities. Other prison ministry workers or family members may also help identify Christian inmates who are good artists and storytellers, but inmate submissions accompanied by recommendation letter from a chaplain will receive first consideration. Christian comics professionals will review your submitted samples and your recommendation. If your work is chosen, volunteer consultants may assist you in producing or refining your own 7-page mini-comic in a form like this one, either in person or via correspondence. You will draw your finished comic pages in pencil, and Christian Comics Professional will do the finished inking and lettering to prepare the comic for reproduction. You will receive at least one copy of the printed comic and also a Christian Comics collection containing one copy of each of 12 different Christian comic books and graphic novels, if your prison rules permit it. Upon request, your chaplain may receive up to 2,000 copies of your printed mini-comic for distribution within your prison or your local community. Email prison_contact@comics35.org for more details, or see this webpage, www.comics35.org/prison HTML.